Last week we made a pinch pot using 1/2 of our clay. Today we're going to make a lid using the other half of the clay. First, you're going to take the clay out of the wrapper. Next, you're going to cut it into 3 pieces with your scissors. Just like last time, we want to have 2 pieces that are the same size and the last piece to be a little bit smaller. It's okay if they're not perfectly the same size, just do your best. Now we're going to be working on just one of the larger pieces. First, you're going to use the base of your palm and press down to flatten it. Then you're going to get any color marker and start making some marks on the clay. Remember, just like last time, we're mixing the colors together in the clay. So after you have some color on there, you're going to fold it in half, then break it apart, put it back together, break it apart, put it back together. You're going to keep doing that to mix the color into the clay. And remember, we're going to do this for about 15 or 20 times until all of that color is mixed into the clay. We'll know that it's mixed in when there are no more color swirls in the clay. It just all looks like one color. Now I'm going to flatten it again and add more color because I want it to be darker. After you have some marker color on the clay, fold it in half, then pull it apart, push it back together. Pull it apart, smush it back together. You're going to keep doing this again until all of that marker color is mixed in with the clay. And you'll see the more you mix it, the stretchier the clay is going to get. And when you're happy with the color of your clay, roll it into a ball, then set it aside. Next, you're going to take your other large piece of clay, flatten it, and do the same thing. You're going to add different marker colors to mix the colors together. When you have colors on the clay, you're going to fold it, then break it apart, smush it back together, break it apart, smush it back together. You're going to keep repeating that step until all of those swirls, those color swirls, are gone and fully mixed into the clay. So you're going to do the same thing that you did with the other piece of clay that you just finished. You're just going to keep mixing it, and you can add colors as many times as you want to get the color that you want. When you're happy with the color of your second piece of clay, roll it into a ball, then set it aside. Next, we're going to take our last piece of clay and we're going to leave it white, but we're going to break it apart and smush it back together just to soften the clay to get it ready. So when it starts to feel like it's getting softer and stretchier, you can roll it into a ball and set it on the table. Now you're going to take one ball of clay and use the base of your palm to roll away from you, then towards your belly button, then away from you, then towards your belly button. You're going to keep doing this until it's about as long as your finger. When it's about as long as your finger, put it aside and do the same thing to the other ball of clay. And you're going to do this for all 3 balls of clay. When we're rolling the cylinder, that's called rolling a clay coil. So we'll be rolling 3 coils all together. Now that we have 3 coils, we're going to line them up and put the white coil in the middle, and then we can slowly push them together so they all stick together, and then we're going to twist it. So one hand is going to twist away from you, the other hand is going to twist towards your belly button. We're going to do that at the same time. Make sure you're twisting slowly, because if you twist too hard or too fast, it could break the coil. Next, you're going to place it on the table, turn it into a circle, then ball it up and use your hands or the table to roll it into a ball. And we're going to roll it so that it smooths out all of the edges. Now you're going to take the base of your palm and roll it into a thick coil. Then you're going to use your hands to twist the clay again in opposite directions. Turn it into a circle. Then ball it up and roll it into a ball, smoothing it out to make sure there are no bumps in your clay. And we're going to roll it into a coil one last time. So use the base of your palm and roll it into a thick coil one more time. Next, take your scissors and cut off one small piece of the coil. That's going to be for the handle on your lid. Now take the leftover coil and roll it back into a ball. Now place the ball of clay on the table and use the base of your palm and press down hard so that we're flattening that ball of clay. And we're going to keep pressing down until it's about the size of your pinch pot. You can hold it over your pinch pot to see if it's the right size. And you're going to keep pressing down until it matches the size of your pinch pot. When you're happy with the size of your lid, set it aside. Then take your last piece of clay that you cut off. You're going to roll it into a ball. Now you're going to take the base of your palm and roll away from you, then towards your belly button, and keep repeating that to make a small coil. When you're finished with the coil, you're going to stick one end of it onto the lid, and I give it a little bit of a push so it stays on. Then you're going to bend it and stick the other end to the lid. Now you're going to look all around to make sure the handle is stuck on all sides of the lid. And you can even reshape your handle if you want to. Maybe you can turn it into a different shape, or maybe you want to pull it really thin or long in the middle. You can decide how you want the rest of your handle to look. And now you've just made a lid for your pinch pot. When you're letting it dry, make sure you're taking the lid off separately so it doesn't get stuck.